The main skill for an entrepreneur at that point is to being able to impact others and influence others. And just without that, it's really hard to scale a company.
Hi, welcome to Founder Real Talk. I am Josh Broward, your host. I'm CEO of Wisdom Partners, and we do this podcast because founders tell us all the time they're lonely and they think they're the only ones who have the problems they have. And so we're just killing two birds with one stone, trying to build community among founders and share the journey, share the struggle. So today, we have with us Dr. Saeid Makmali. He's a tech executive and kind of a serial entrepreneur. He has a PhD in computer science, and he, in addition, so his main gig is running SinonSoft, which is a software dev house, but sometimes they work with their customers in a more detailed space as a CTO. So they help develop software for startups or for enterprises or medium-sized companies that are doing a new thing and need some custom software, or they'll just get in the trenches and help you get your company rolling from the beginning. So without any further ado, Saeed, so glad you're here. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Josh, for the introduction. Happy to be here.
So tell us about the problem that you guys solve in SinonSoft.
Sure. One of the main pain points that I figured out entrepreneurs have is the execution. Entrepreneurs, they have ideas, and some of them are really brilliant ideas. But the problem is that they don't have enough resources, knowledge, and team around them to execute those ideas. That's where my team and I come to play, and we try to work with them considering their constraints, budget limits in resources, and we help them overcome those obstacles, and we help them get their idea off the ground to the MVP, and just we try to help them give their idea alive.
Why does that resonate with you personally, helping founders bring their ideas to life?
Yeah. First of all, I am entrepreneur myself, and after I defended my PhD back in 2012, my feeling was that we want to create a bigger impact in the industry, and I started a company called SinonSoft, where initially we were just a dev shop, and we helped businesses developing their product. And I have been seeing a lot of founders and entrepreneurs in my journey. At some point, I decided to not just be a service provider, but be more a resource for founders and entrepreneurs and help them really overcome their obstacles in execution of their ideas. And now there are many projects that we partner as a fractional CTO with our clients. So yeah, just being in that journey, it's painful, but for me, it's really something that I enjoy and want to be part of those journeys.
That's the kind of the joy and the trap of entrepreneurism.
Exactly.
It's painful, but it's so much fun.
Exactly. It's so much fun. A lot of adrenalines every day.
Yeah.
And I like that.
It's kind of like, I can't remember who said it, but there's some endurance athlete who talks about type 1 and type 2 fun. Type 1 fun is like you go to the movies or you do a roller coaster and it's just fun. And then type 2 fun is you're suffering, like you're running a marathon, but it's fun.
It's fun. Exactly. Not necessarily whatever is painful, it's not fun. And I think entrepreneurship is one of those pains that I enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah. What's a win for you and your company in the past year that you're really proud of?
Well, I think one of the movements of our company in past year was creating a new direction in our company, which sounds attractive to many entrepreneurs. And that direction is a program that we created called MVP Partner Program, where we are currently trying to onboard new entrepreneurs who have idea, but they cannot afford the full development cost and they cannot afford the full team. And through that program, we help them execute their idea and we become partners. So it's one of those movements in our company that I really like. Obviously, we invest in those companies ourselves. So we don't make that much money on those projects, but we are like we play a co-founder role in those projects. And we started this program from last year, and I'm very excited to continue speaking with many founders and entrepreneurs and trying to onboard new startups into that platform.
That's interesting. I might have some people to send your way for that one.
Absolutely. I would be glad to, sir.
Yeah. One thing that we say often here at Wisdom Partners is wisdom is failure redeemed. Another way to say it is most of the most important lessons we learn the hard way.
Exactly.
So would you be willing to share with us a lesson that you learned from failure or struggle recently?
Well, I think one lesson that I learned in a couple of failures recently, and specifically in working with people and creating partnerships, was underestimating the soft skills or people that I want to work with and the cultural fit. There was a couple of hires or partnerships that I had in past couple of years that the other party is so talented, brilliant, and they can get the job done. They are the best in their expertise that they are bringing to the table, but they really lack of good personality. They don't have leadership skills. They don't have that level of communication skills that we need especially in a startup and entrepreneurship role. And I underestimate those a couple of times, and we really had a lot of problems. We lost opportunities, and I think that was one of the lessons that I learned. And now, for example, in our hiring process, we put the cultural fit interview prior to technical one, and we try to evaluate that first, because I think that having cultural fit is more important than having skills, because everyone can learn the skills, they can improve it, but when there are cultural fit issues, it's really hard to fix it down the road.
Yeah, I think that's something almost everybody who hires has struggled with. One framework that's been helpful for me, and we still don't get it right every time, is there's sort of 3 layers of the vetting process. The first layer is competency, and that's actually the easiest one to meet. Then the next one is character. Like, are they a good person? Do they have good emotional intelligence? That kind of stuff. And then the last one is chemistry, which is, like you were saying, a culture fit.
Yes.
But part of it is, do I like this person?
Yes.
Do I want to spend time with them? Because if we're working together, we're going to be spending a lot of time together.
Yes, exactly. And that's really important. I was personally very fortunate to have very good people around me in my team. And those who are staying with me for a very long time now, in average over 5 years, some of my team members, we really like each other. We have chemistry. We enjoy every day working together and we give each other energy. But throughout the journey, there were a lot of team members that they sucked energy from other team members. And luckily, we were able to just, at some point replace those with other team members. And I think that's very important, because when the environment is toxic, you cannot be creative. You cannot, create that impact that you want. Yeah, that's extremely important.
Thanks for sharing about that. In the last year or two, what have been some of the most important investments you've made in yourself as a leader?
Yeah, I think That's really important point. And entrepreneurs, when they start, the first couple years, they focus on certain things, and it's usually bringing the first dollars into the company, creating the team. But at some point, it's really important to do that shift, because at some point you really have to become completely different person from what you were a couple years ago. And I try to invest in myself. I try to attend more workshops, more mastermind groups, and just hear more about entrepreneurship from other people who have gone through that journey, and invested time in reading more books. Obviously, one of the challenges is that we really cannot find enough time to read books, and usually I do it at night, and when I start I just fall asleep because of the after the hard work, which is every day hard and stressful. But yeah, I try to really invest in myself, in getting into some mastermind groups and attending paid workshops. And yeah.
I just want to pull a thread a little bit. You said once you get past the early days of getting the first customers, as an entrepreneur, you have to become a different kind of person.
Yes.
What kind of changes did you have to go through?
I think the main skill for an entrepreneur at that point is to being able to impact others and influence others in two ways. I think we have two categories of people that we have to deal with. Customers, we have to have the skills to impact them in a way that they trust us, right? So that they can exchange their resources with us. And on the other hand, we have to be able to have enough charisma for our team to follow our leads as a leader. And I think that's really something that I think would differentiate very successful entrepreneurs from not successful entrepreneurs, because having that charisma and being able to influence other people and close them to do great things with you, I think that's a skill that is a must for any entrepreneur and any leader. And just without that, it's really hard to scale a company and a business.
Thank you. What's one of the biggest challenges you're trying to solve right now?
Right now, again, from last year, try to niche down to some industries where we can we can solve specific problems for a specific category of people. I think one of the transitions that my company is going through right now is transition from being a general dev house to more specific direction. One of the directions that you are focusing in right now is healthcare, and we are more getting on projects which is in healthcare industry. And around that, we are creating new products, and we are trying to teach our team how to build healthcare products, how to be HIPAA compliant, and just get more skills in that direction. And we already have delivered a couple of products in healthcare industry, and we are trying to be more niche down. And I think I am working on a couple of problems in that area right now, which are going to be helpful for both professionals in healthcare and also the human beings.
How do you think you need to evolve to help your company solve the challenges you have right now?
Again, I think keeping my team who are working with me and and are helping with me in my day to day and throughout the journey, keeping them motivated, keeping them on top of everything, duplicating myself in every aspect of the company in the perfect way. It's something that I really every day try to do in order to achieve our goals. And yeah, removing myself from operations has been one of the main focus over past 2 years, I would say. And we had some success there. But for us right now, yeah, obviously scaling our sales and bringing new partners is my main focus right now.
So you have been around the startup world for a while. We think in Wisdom Partners, one of the most difficult challenges is, or most difficult eras of a startup's journey is around seed stage, or if you're bootstrapped, as a company is approaching product market fit, the demands go up before the revenue goes up.
Right.
What advice do you have for seed stage founders or founders of companies that are nearing product market fit?
Do you mean those who already have a product, or still they are in very early stage, still idea?
So they have a product and it's in the market and it's kind of working, and they feel like they might be onto something, but they haven't hit the big growth.
Yeah, they haven't been, yeah, hit the growth. Yeah, I think my advice would be, I think at that point they definitely have to focus on two things. First of all, perfecting their product. Their product should be the best in the world in what they are solving, right? And I think at that stage they have to learn about the current customers' experiences and try to make their product better. One of the mistakes I think founders make is that at that stage when they start seeing some dollars coming in and the product kind of, they feel that they reach their product market fit, they stop enhancing their product. I think they really have to reinvest their income into the product and make it better and better every day. And also I think at that point is a perfect time to focus on fundraising for sure, and raise funds, make the product better, and create sales funnels in a scalable way. I think that should be the main focus for founders at seed stage at that point, and getting to the real product market fit. Sometimes they think that they achieved product market fit, but they really didn't, and they just have to, I think, be more, hard on that part.
Let's dig in a little bit on that, because we see that also. Sometimes when you start getting sales, you think, aha, product market fit.
Yes.
It's true product market fit is different. What do you see? What's the difference? What are some of the clues that you are actually at product market fit?
I think one of the clues is giving every customer, let's say we are talking about a SaaS-based product, right? I think we should carefully monitor, for example, 10, 5 or 10 clients over a 3 to 6 month time period. Just monitor and try to get the customers' feedback regularly and monitor that. Just try to validate time by time that their idea is still aligned with their reality, and it's really solving their customers' problem, and they are happy. They say that this is something that I wish I could have used 2 years ago, right? And I think they really have to check on that feedback all the time. And I think more than 92%, 95%, if they have that positive feedback saying that we won't continue without this product anymore, that's, I think, where the product market fit happen. But if it is something, if their clients feel that this is something optional for them, or they're consider at some point discontinuing the using of the service, then probably they really have to review everything. And sometimes maybe they have to go through the market validation phase again. One of the issues that is that many founders go so fast and they don't do enough market validation job at the beginning, and it goes to a point that there is a product, there is customers, but still they need to go back to the market validation again and just maybe change something in their product. Yeah, they just don't rush. They don't have to rush in order to say that we have the product market fit, because sometimes it's just really premature still.
Thanks for digging a little deeper. I think that's really helpful. So if there's somebody out there listening to this and they think, I like what Saeid is doing with SinonSoft, what would be the best way for, who are you trying to meet? If they want to help you guys, how can they help you?
Sure. Yeah, I always open to speak with founders and learn about their journey. And as I mentioned, we still are trying to onboard new partners through our MVP partner program. And I think the best way to help is referring us, any entrepreneur who is struggling with executing their ideas and they need help with optimizing resources. And if anyone can refer, I think someone like that, that would be the best help to us.
All right. Thanks, Saeid. Thanks for sharing your journey.
Absolutely.
That's all. Yeah. That's all for today's Founder Real Talk. And we just want to say for all the founders out there, you are not alone. The journey is hard for all of us, and we make it together. We make it easier by supporting each other. So if we can be supportive to you, please reach out to me or someone on our team at Wisdom Partners. We'll be glad to help you. Thanks, Saeid.
Thank you so much for having me.